Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Grim Dawn. We are playing with a Drain Essence Death Knight on hardcore, on elite. And we find ourselves to the southwest of Homestead. Today we're gonna go for the Bug Queen and for the amalgamation in the Gruesome Harvest. But of course, we first have to visit a little girl in the cave. Who we discovered in a veteran mode, of course, is secretly a demon inside a little girl inside a cave. Which sounds a little bit awkward if you put it that way. But that's still how it works. This game definitely has some awkward situations. Lined with salt to keep her in. All by yourself, it's a little odd. Something is off. You're a deceiver, demon. And then we see a level 68 demon. 2 levels above me. Who, well, doesn't seem to pack too much of a punch compared to ourselves, so that's good. And then we get some reputation with people far away. And funny enough, the folks in town are really not all that emotionally affected by it. So, we head back to the croplands and we head west towards the Bug Queen. Oh, actually, no, wait. Let's stick to the bottom side a little bit more, because I think there was a harpy thing here. Not that one, was it? Yeah, this has the good potential to be it. Yes, hello. Malaxna, the Stormweaver, and a Blazewing. And Volaxna, the Bloodgorger. So that's a triple hero harpy party. And there we are. Some free loot, and ooh, look at that, hidden spoils. Just hidden away in plain sight. Well, they're pretty well guarded, so a bit more difficult to obtain. And a corpse, it's positively glowing with all the iron bits that were stashed inside of it. Oh, and more flying in harpies that are kind of glitching here through the mountains. Was a little awkward. Like, let's leave the place. It's a silly place. And having fights inside of the trees is always a bit difficult, because you can't really see what's happening, because they're underneath the leaves. So let's get back out to the open lands. And of course, first thing I do after I say that is walk into a farm. But luckily there's nothing there. So there's no fighting. Hello everybody. It's the pack sizes are still a little bit on the smallish side. We'll see if that changes in Ultimate. Though, of course, everything will have a boatload more health in Ultimate. So they might still have the same pack sizes, they just might be nastier to deal with. Another harvester. I find it funny that the corrupted harvesters... Ooh, hello there. You are a hero. I find it funny that the harvesters actually summon crows rather than scaring them away, which is the opposite of what they're supposed to do. Which I guess, though, for a scarecrow is kind of the most perfect corruption you could think of. To just totally go against the intended purpose. And now we find ourselves in Bug Country. The entrance into the Bug Queen's lair is always randomized. There's It's always randomized. It's always somewhere on the left side in one of the farm patches, but which one it is randomly determined. So it's not these. So I fear it might be on the other side. So we have to take a little bit more of a an early morning stroll over there. Hello there.
I can't do that yet.
And this one connects to this one. Grobbles, okay. Well, you'd expect the grobbles to have become food quite a while ago, but apparently they're pretty good at holding their own. Also, feels like this might not be entirely the place to be. So then, there's more farms to explore. We didn't find the journal where the treasure was hidden, so the treasure there is locked away. The game is really picky about that specific quest. A lot of quests, if you know the secret, you can just go in, but that treasure is just locked behind the knowledge contained in the journal. It's a little bit like the Yvonne's memory in Act 6. Okay, so then we go over to that side, and there's a little path through here. I think the paths between the farm plots also a little bit randomized, with the piles of stone lying in them sometimes and not other times. And it's something, yes, a blueprint dropped. Crown of the Winter King, which is opposed to Veil of Shadow, which I think is the Nightblade Cold Aura, and Primal Bond, which is a druid thing. At least I think that was the druid thing. It gives Winter King's Might, grant an item, slam your weapon into the earth with the Might of the Winter King, unleashing a cascade of icy spines. Requires a two-handed melee weapon. Shoots out 3 projectiles, 100% chance to pass through enemies, so they are piercing projectiles. 55% main hand damage, boatload of cold damage, boatload of frostburn damage, chance to freeze 15%, and 30% chance to slow target movements. Wasn't this one of the first legendary items that got spoiled? One day got added. Something tickles in the back of my mind, saying that there was something special about the Crown of the Winter King. Let's see, also what did we get? Empowered Defender of Devil's Crossing, +2 to field command, and a Seismic Blast on block. That's a decent amount of damage, but of course, this Spectral War Shield is kind of a core part of the build. So we're not giving it up for any reason at all. Okay. Let's see, there's a couple more places remaining where we could be. Oh, hello there, Stone Spitter, you are shielded. Let me rip your spirit out and then have that spirit fight you. And look at that, an entrance. Last place where it could be. Yeah, and of course that is also where we find it. Funny how that works. Okay, This dungeon has been overhauled. There's now actually an exit that takes you back here. So you can do it in just a single run. There's no need to backtrack in here and cross the fields multiple times, which is very convenient. So there's 2 sub areas in here. One to the left, the maps and tunnels, but I don't think there's actually anything interesting there. So if you want to kill more bugs, then well, you're free to go there. But there's no other reason. There's nothing interesting there. The right-hand side tunnel, however, is where the Skittering Den resides, which on normal has a shrine, but always also contained Golas. So I think it was the Golas one. Yeah. Oh, there's one of the Viziers. You are carrying some of the pheromones that we require. please hand them over. And now you actually see no any more sustained fights. Energy is draining out. So it's a good thing that that is not something that we're going to boost any more in the nearby future. If it really becomes an issue, I might even just refund some points, but for the time being, I think this is fine. I mean, it's been ages since I last drank an energy potion, so I might sip 1 or 2 if it is required. Because you see, it's more of a gradual draining rather than that it just empties out in a single fight. And especially if there's some downside in between fights, some downtime in between fights, then it's gonna work out. Also, we have this lovely ability on the tip of the scales that leeches, well, currently nearly 200 energy over 2 seconds when it triggers, but it's a defensive proc, so it only triggers when I get hit, or it has a chance to trigger when I get hit. Which of course doesn't happen all that often, since I have a habit of murdering everything before they really have a chance to resist me. So yeah, that kind of makes things a little bit more difficult and awkward. So been picking up a lot of spikes. So let's merge them and make some space for more stuff. So, and there we are. Ooh, shiny. A shiny exalted stash. Okay, didn't realize there could be one here. But of course, no, there's just plenty of places, and maybe normally there's like a rock there, so I wouldn't notice. Because this is where the secret is, so you're always not going in, going over the hill, and then going down here. Because this I think is always a fixed place. Let's see, a couple more places. The Den of the Lost. No, it's not a skittering den, it's the Den of the Lost. And there is a shrine here as well, which is convenient. Tip the Scales has leveled up, so we're draining even more energy. A level 70 Blood Mage, so it's 4 above me. And this is desecrated, so it's just going to be a funny fight with spiders. 1, 2, 3 heroes, Directrix, Shalif and Wavix. Okay, they're doing some decent damage here. So a lot of debuffs going on if you look above my energy bar. But yeah, it's kind of nice that you can ignore a lot of things if you're just leeching enough life and stacking enough defensive procs to shrug off a lot of things and just recover from the rest. Ooh, we picked up another thingamabob here, a relic, Bane, which is a mythical relic for the Inquisitor, level 70. Nice. I think this might be one of the first, I think the second or the third one. So this will grant +1 to all skills in Inquisitor, some fire damage, some elemental damage, offensive ability, some energy, casting speed, and it has a 33% chance on critical attack to cast Elemental Bane, which has a very short recharge, 1.3 seconds, and a 100% chance to pass through enemies. So that is a piercing projectile, 1 meter radius, and it does a boatload of elemental damage as well as knocking down targets for 1 second. So that is kind of nice. And now we know it. Also picked up a Empowered Marauders Fury gun, part of the Empowered Marauders set, level 65, which is a Demolitionist and Arcanist. The base version only boosts the Demolitionist, if I recall correctly, so the Arcanist pushes it more towards a Pyromancer, I think. And then we have Empowered Final March, level 58 boots, which have some movement speed, bonus to Blitz, which is our movement speed skill. Physical resistance, ether resistance, and some slow resistance. And over here, nothing truly remarkable. So let's put that nothing truly remarkable in here and just keep it in all in the same box. So we got ourselves a devotion point, and we continue with the lion. We got some spirit, some health, and some movement speed. The movement speed was added in a recent patch. Actually, a lot of constellations actually got a little bit of movement speed, so as you pick them up, you become faster over time. And I actually forgot to spend the point we picked up last time, so putting it into the lion. So that completes the lion, and I wasn't really all that interested in the lion specifically, but the main reason I picked it up is because this pushes us now to 13, which means we can unspend the crane. So I have to remember that at the end of the episode we're going to go to the seer, and we're going to refund some things on the devotion shrine, and we're going to actually branch out of white and into blue because we now have more points than we need. Okay, so in here we should have a Golos. Hello, the Deep Dweller. Who of course is purple, so immune to our Terrify. But the other ones, they were not. They actually ran away. And we find ourselves a Supreme Chest. Golos did not drop the Golos Ring, as far as I could see. But that's alright. We did get Desecrated Threats, level 50, so they're a little bit on the lower hand. Which we give some fire resist, slow resist, some fatality retaliation, and +2 to reaping strike. Okay, so then we can just finish off the circle, which is kind of neat. Then this way you can just go out still murdering things rather than having to backtrack over a place that you've already cleared of any opposition. And then we have an appointment with a queen. Can't leave a royalty waiting for too long. And actually here we could also take the outer path on this side, so we don't have to backtrack across places before they clear it. And this way we actually get a near full clear from the place. Oh no, we got the devotion point, not a level. A level we're actually really close to, which is nice as well. Let's see, we have killed one of the Viziers, not yet the other. I hope the other one is going to be close, otherwise we actually have to go looking for it. It's kind of interesting. No, the Grand Vizier. Its pheromones are the key, so rather than it being a guardian in front of the door, of course, it is actually best positioned just hidden away somewhere. If that's the only way to get to the pheromones, then now if you can't find it, you can't enter the place. And this is the level I was waiting for. So, well, last episode, or last couple of episodes, we've been focusing heavily on the Drain Essence, which I think right now is in a pretty decent state. And I just had another look over the Grim Tools build I set up quite a while ago. There I actually only put a single point to Siphon Souls and let it be carried by the bonuses to skills. But Harbinger of Souls, of course, is one I did max out. And that's gonna be pretty useful. Global bonus to Vitality Decay and Duration is gonna be nice. All the bonuses, Vitality Decay added to all weapon attacks, so that's most useful when I charge into things. So this is one that's at some point has to be maxed. On the soldier side, we have a War Cry, which is also kind of useful, and the damage reduction on targets is kind of neat as well. And on the bottom side, of course, there's also a bunch of defensive procs that we might want to put a couple more points into, as well as a fighting spirit. So, and most of the other things are just going to remain 1-pointers as they are. So I think for now we're actually just gonna boost this one to have a slightly larger radius. And I think next level, gonna put another 2 points into it, so we get it to level 6. Then we have a 10-meter radius, and then we'll flip over back to the Necromancer side and probably just push a Harbinger of Souls to 12. And just try and spread the points around a little bit. But before that, we have to find ourselves a Vizier that does not want to be killed, apparently. So if I were the Vizier, where would I hide? Oh, actually we're gonna have a look. We killed the second one, so the first one is probably in the earlier parts. But most often, I think it's in the caves. So I might have just, yeah, this is it. So it's pretty close to the route I usually take, but just far enough off that I didn't encounter it naturally. And that is it. So, one queen. It's kind of funny. The fight with the queen. It used to be. It used to feel very, very tough, very dangerous fight. But these days, I'm never really all that impressed. At least not on the veteran. We'll see if she's a bit more scary in her current state. So lots of little pets and of course lots of treasure chests. There's even an ornate strongbox over there. Slightly better than the normal ones. And now at this current rate, I'm actually putting quite some stuff into my pockets. It's gonna be a good day at the vendor, selling all the stuff, raking in all those iron bits. And there might even be an upgrade or two in there. Though upgrades are of course becoming more and more difficult to obtain. Because, well, you get picky with items. Okay, and I'm just gonna ignore the queen, I mean she's pinned there. And I do like to have cleared all the side rooms before actually engaging in the fight. So that way, you know, after you've killed the queen, you're kind of done with the place, rather than needing to pick all the pockets and loot all the things. And this way you also kind of drag out all the add-ons, so they won't be a bother during the fight. Now, for this build, doesn't really matter too much, since we just drain the life out of things, so it might even be a boost, a little bonus in the fight. On the other hand, now it also means extra damage that you have to tank, which, well, if it turns out that it actually is a tough fight, then you don't want that distraction. And now she already summons enough things as it is. But yeah, just looking pretty good here. Hello. So I'll just drain your spirit. And then just reflect some damage back to you. Rip your spirit out again. Okay, now you're throwing rocks. Huh? Some queens throw a tantrum, this one throws rocks. I guess the rocks are more effective than the tantrum. And then now we take the exit back up. And then we take this exit out. And then we can go back to the road and follow the road. And take out the amalgamation. So, into the Gruesome Harvest we go. Lovely place lovely name for this place. And of course the old zombie standing around is a perfect anchor point for blitz, so you can just zip through the place without too much of a fuss. Except when they die apparently, because then of course you can't blitz towards the dead. That's the one restriction in the movement skills in Grim Dawn that, well, it's if they could fix one thing, that would actually be very, very nice. Being able to ground target your movement skills. But then again, no, this is an older engine and there might be some serious repercussions to try and change that. Of course, no, we can always hope. We can always hope. What was it? Hope for the best and all you can do is get disappointed? Wait, no, I think the phrase was a bit more positive. It's hope for the worst and then you can only be delighted. Yeah, I think that's better. Still has a little bit of a negative thing, but I guess it's always positive surprises. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. That's maybe a better one. That has that hopeful thing, but also that realistic thing. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with that one. Just flattening the crafted items. Because of course they take a lot of space. The Archmages traditionally have been the ones that dealt most damage, though Archmage running away does 0 damage, which is actually pretty good state for those things. Terrify is very helpful for just little annoyances like that. Hello there. I'm standing in ether stuff. Let's not. It's very, very bad for your health. Ooh, wow. That's okay. Yeah, ether cloud underneath my feet. That's less good. I mean, current resistance to ether 55%. Oh, it's not great. It's doable, workable, but it's definitely not great. Ooh, corpse. Oh, actually, speaking of corpses, there is loot inside. Easy to forget. Another corpse, which also has stuff. That's a dead end. And then we go out and back to town. Also, I think my portal was in ether thing because my health kept tipping. So, hello Douglas. I killed the bug queen for you. Then, so we got a bunch of reputation, of course augmented by the thingamabob we have. Extra bag, but we're already at 5, so we don't actually get the extra bag. He just says we get the extra bag. Then Captain Summer, and of course we have to go back to Homestead, but that's also where the series, so that all works out. So we will rescue the prisoners in the next area next time. Anything here? Yeah.
Just the person I'm looking. There are 2 other groups.
I will speak to the emissaries. Okay, choices o'clock. So last time we went with the Necromancers because of course they are Necromancers. They are the cool people. Yeah, see, we're nearly honored, so that gets access to a new quest. So I think I'm just gonna continue with that. Work my way up to revered status.
The one you call.
Okay, go to the sanctum, and then of course afterwards we can unlock things. Yeah. So I think every difficulty you have the option to switch sides. So potentially in Ultimate we could actually side with Kami's Chosen to also go through those quest lines. But on the other hand, now each difficulty you have to choose one, so it doesn't really matter too much, I guess. But it would give me the ability to buy augments of one faction in Veteran and Elite difficulty and to shop for the other augments on the other difficulty. So it's and on here, is there anyone we still have to speak with? I don't think so. So let's go back to Starter Town, Devil's Crossing. And then Barnabas, we got you the food you wanted. And he is happy. Oh, look at all that reputation. So Homestead, we are nearly revered. Devil's Crossing, we're also nearly. It's going good. Black Legion requires a little bit more work, but then again, now the entire fort icon area is Black Legion. So I'm sure that's gonna work out all right. Okay, devotion respecking.
What troubles you?
So the whole dance with devotions is something that is easy to overlook. That once you have the points here, the game doesn't care where they come from. So now an easy thing would be, for example, I mean, I always go for the tortoise. It requires 1 white point, but it gives 2 white points. So what you often do is, you pick up the white point, then you assign the tortoise, and then you unassign the crossroads, because of course the white points granted by the turtle are enough to sustain the turtle, so the turtle is sustaining itself. Turtles all the way down, so to say. In this case, we needed 8 affinity for the Scales of Ultima. Eventually I want to go for the Obelisk of Menhir, which also requires 8 white points. So now we have much too many. So we started out with the crane, because the crane is really efficient for getting a lot of points quickly. But now that we have 2 extra points from the Scales of Ultima, we can actually downgrade this to something that provides us with 3 points rather than 5 at the so we can free up more points and spend it somewhere else. So that's where the lion came in. So at this point what we can do is we can unspend the crane. We're gonna lose a bunch of resistances from this, so and you can see actually I was able to unassign things. If you messed up somewhere or don't have enough points, the game will tell you. So at this point we have 8 white, which is enough for the scales and for the obelisk, and in return we have 5 unspent points, which we can use. So having a quick look here, we lost some lightning resistance, we lost 10 there. Bleeding, I think we lost 8 points, and for the rest we're still overcapped, so that's alright. So most of them, they're still above 70, so no, there's no big problem, but trying to just get them back capped, useful if we can do that in the near future. And I think currently our belt has the cold resistance component. Actually, we also lost, we lost some elemental resist, so I think we were overcapped at 17, now it's back to 7, so actually swapping one for the other is not going to help. And lightning, actually I think this is probably a decent setup, but eventually we'll fix that. So we now have 5 points to spend. My goal is to get to the obelisk. Currently we are at 4 blue points, we need 15, so I just want to grab blue points as quickly as possible. What I looked at, the lizard, you put in 3 blue points, you get out 4. We have the eel, you put in 3 points, you get out 5, that is very efficient. Actually, it is efficient, but actually it's not too bad. It's not mostly defensive. It is very efficient, but if I'm just glancing over at my notes, we have the eel, or we have the lizard. We have the compass, which is 4 points in, 5 points out, and it provides a variation of bonuses, as well as some resistances. Compensates a little bit for what you lose with the crane. And the gallows, which has a vitality theme and some health bonuses. So this is more of an offensive choice, 4 points in, 5 points out, whereas the eel is more of a defensive choice. This one, did it have energy as well? No, it's not, it's mostly defensive. Well, a lizard is just very nice for the health regen and health benefits that you get from it. And a little bit of movement speed, as I said, it's been sprinkled around in places. So after this, we no longer need the blue starter point. So what we can do is once again have a chat with the lady and unassign this point.
Safe journey.
And then we, of course, have another 3 points to spend. And because one of the things was that eventually we don't have enough points to grab the last couple nodes on the obelisk. All we can do is just now grab the proc. And I think I'm actually just gonna go for the eel. Just don't go for a more defensive choice rather than offense, because we still have a lot of room to grow in the skill tree to boost our offense. Whereas on the defensive side, there's only a small handful of skills, and for the rest it's mainly gonna come down to gear. So picking up the defensive ability, chance to avoid attacks, is just very, very nice. I mean, defensive ability, it allows you to dodge attacks or not take critical attacks, so it is pretty good. And a little bit of pierce resistance never hurt anyone. So now we're up to 12 points. All we need is 3 more to get the obelisk. So actually any of these will do. So it's going to be 4 points, takes us to 48. We'll actually be overshooting by 2 points. So at that point, oh no, wait, this is white, not blue. So yeah, 4 points in here gets us to 48. Means we got 7 left. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That actually completes the obelisk. So that's also nice. So small bit of changing, min-maxing, whatever you want to call it. Nice. So anything else? No, I don't think so. I think it was a pretty productive episode. We cleared out the farms. We overhauled some of the devotions, and we're now ready to head north of Homestead. So got some conflagration business left, and after that, of course, Blood Grove. But that's gonna be for next episode. For now, I'm gonna thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.